Welcome back to the Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell your home with Barb Schlinker, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. In for Richard Randall, I'm Ryan Kaufman. And Barb, home sellers planning to put their homes on the market often ask, how do we prepare? What are some important tips to drive up the sales price when they sell their Colorado Springs area homes?
Well, Ryan, it is the number one question I get besides how much. And most home sellers want the most amount of money. And just, really pretty homes that were exquisitely remodeled. They always sell fast and they always sell for top dollar. But most sellers assume their homes are going to sell as is. Like, how dare they ask for us to repair anything? I thought it was as is. It's not a brand new home. We get that a lot. A lot of times home sellers are a little bit surprised when a buyer does an inspection and they're asking for stuff. So we'll deal with some of those in this segment and just talk about how you can get ahead of that. And there are a few small improvements that can really go a long way. So the big ticket items are the ones that you want to know about and be prepared for up front. The first one, probably the most common one that we get here, are dealing with roof replacements because of hail damage. So a lot of home sellers think, hey, my roof isn't leaking. What's the problem? But if the inspector goes up on the roof, and if it's a composite shingle type roof and they see those little spots where hail hit it and displaced the granules, it could lead to a roof leaking at some point. So most buyers will not accept a home that has existing hail damage because their insurance company will not cover it. So it's really, really important that you get ahead of that. We have some roofing contractors that will go out and do a free roof certification and just give you a good look at no cost. So you know if you have any of those problems up front. And one thing that you should pay attention to are the deductibles. So some of the insurance companies have really increased the amount of a deductible on a roof. One big company that we see a lot of people use here is USAA. And what they did somewhere in the fine print at some point along the merry way is most of the deductibles for homes are not like $1,000 or $500. In fact, they're 1% of the home's value. So if you think about it, a typical roof replacement might be $10,000, but the home is selling for $500,000. That means only half the roof is covered by the insurance company. And then to make it worse, they depreciate it based on the age of the roof. So they may not cover very much of your expense. So before you put your home on the market, definitely call your insurance company and find out answers to those questions. Find out what your deductible is. And find out if your roof is in good shape, because buyers will not accept, or they cannot accept a roof, or they may not be able to get their insurance to cover the roof if it has legacy damage. Another big ticket item would be the furnace. So the heat system obviously is pretty expensive. Usually they cost about $4,000 to $5,000 to replace. And generally, if you're having it serviced, it usually is about $100 to have your furnace serviced every year. You'll have a good idea what kind of life you have on it and whether or not it's going to last for a number of years. We can also put home warranties in place that will cover you for that. The next big ticket item that we see a lot are electrical panels. So about 30% of the homes in this market, especially the older homes, have this brand of electrical panel that, even though it may be functional, most of the electricians will not work on them, and they will not agree to do anything other than replace them, because this company, they're called Federal Pacific, when they put these breakers inside these panels, if the breaker got overloaded, it would not pop and it would cause fires. So typically the buyers are going to ask for a new panel. Just plan on it, but you just open up your panel and find out what the brand is to figure that out. I actually had one recently in which we found an electrician that would just replace the breakers, which was great. It was probably a third or fourth the cost of replacing the whole panel if you can get the buyer to accept that. And then, of course, if you have structural issues, you will know you'll have crooked floors, you'll have cracked walls. Those are things that you want to stay ahead of because they're very big ticket items to fix. So make sure you're pre-planning. Our team can help you pre-plan to get your house ready for sale. But generally the easy stuff and getting ready for pictures are things like decluttering. So how do you know if it's cluttered? Most people live in their homes every day, normal life, kids and dogs, whatever, dropping stuff on the kitchen counter. That's normal. But when you put your house on the market, you have to make it look almost like a model. So how do you do that? Well, first of all, go take a picture of your key rooms, living room, kitchen, master bathroom, the rec room, whatever. Take pictures of those rooms, blow them up on your computer, and that will definitely tell you if you have clutter. General rules of thumb, all the rugs off the floor, especially if they're bright red, and the little rugs in particular. Don't leave dish towels hanging in the kitchen. Everything off the counters in the kitchen except the coffee pot. For bathrooms, everything off the counter, the rugs pulled up and the shower curtains pulled aside. That is one way. Another way is, I was just in a house yesterday, a beautiful home, but they had a lot of furniture, had a lot of books. And so there was a little bit too much furniture in the room and they had no place to put it. You can get a storage shed to take care of that, but if you can't do that, it's fine. For the pictures, we have the technology to digitally make it go away, and the buyers are not going to remember when they show up at the house. But storage sheds are pretty inexpensive. You can, sometimes you'll get an introductory low rate of $1 a month, and you can use our moving vans and go put stuff away and make your house look very austere, because you don't want your home to be eliminated based on the online pictures. Some other very easy tips are to focus on the basics when you're selling your home. What do I mean by that? Neutralize the paint. A lot of people have very particular taste, especially when it comes to paint. I was talking to one of my partners the other day, and he asked his seller to remove wallpaper, which there was a lot of grumbling about that on the client's part. But you know what? It just didn't look right. It was torn. It looked dated. It really looks bad in the picture. So yeah, it's kind of a pain to take wallpaper off, but taking it off, retexturing and painting can go a long way. And generally, neutral paint, you'll actually get 107% of your return on your investment. Any flooring that looks like it's tired, like if you have real hardwood and it has traffic areas on it, it probably needs to be recoated. I know that's a little expensive, but it's worth the effort. Or if you have carpet that you can see stains and it looks tired, it's worth it to replace it. I had one client recently that told me there was gorgeous gleaming hardwood floors underneath the very old Berber carpet. And so I said, well, the options are to replace the carpet, or if you have the skills, pull the carpet and just pull the nails and stuff. And it was shocking how beautiful it was after he did that. It wasn't a lot of effort, but we sold that home for $40,000 over asking price.
Wow.
Typically, we do not photograph the inside of closets or garages unless there's something really special about them. And then for closets, generally the rule of thumb for showings, especially the master, is try to get everything off the floor to make it look more roomy and spacious. And my name is Barb Schlinker. I've been here in the business for 26 years. If you'd like to get an in-home consultation with me or my team about what to do to get your home sold for top dollar, give us a call at 719-301-3900, or you can go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Here's another low-cost thing, light fixtures. So a lot of people have kind of old, dated, tired light fixtures. Just so you know, the Goldie finishes are out of style. The Hollywood light fixtures are out of style. And sometimes it's very inexpensive to replace those fixtures. And we are offering a free report that gives you all of the tips about what to do to get your house ready for sale. It's called the 27 Valuable Tips to Get Your Home Sold Fast and for Top Dollar. If you'd like to get that report, go to barbhasthebuyers.com, click on the green button in the upper right-hand corner, and you can download that for free, or just give us a call at 719-301-3900. Ryan?
You are listening to the Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And the number again, as Barb gave out, 719-301-3900. We're talking about the 27 tips to drive up the sales price of your Colorado Springs area home. Barb, what are some other home repairs that can yield a great return on investment, that ROI?
Well, believe it or not, curb appeal is where most of the buyers spend a majority of their time looking online. So getting curb appeal right is hugely important. It's tougher in the winter months, obviously. It's a little bit tough just because we had the snow last weekend. So you want to clean up the yard, freshen the mulch beds. If you don't have flowers yet, that's okay. Don't worry about it. If your grass is dead, put some mulch down, do something, because it's almost half the time that buyers spend looking at the yard, the curb appeal. And guess what? If you're going to sell your home in the future in the winter and you want to take advantage of our free offer where we will take professional photos of your home in the summer when it's green and all the flowers are out, no cost or obligation, give us a call at 719-301-3900. We'll do that for you. Curb appeal and yards are hugely important. People spend a lot of time in their yards. So you want to make sure freshen those mulch beds, put flowers out, trim the bushes, paint the front door, update the doorbell. I don't know why in this market doorbells get broken, but they do. And if you have any uneven concrete, there's an inexpensive way to solve that, which is called mud jacking. It's really neat. My mom, before she sold her house, had a front sidewalk, and it was tilting over probably about 10 degrees. So these mud jackers came in, they drilled a hole in the sidewalk, and it raised the level of the sidewalk so it was level, sealed up the cracks, and it was only a few $100s, and it looked fabulous. So getting the curb appeal right could mean the difference between getting plenty of offers or just being eliminated and having your home sit on the market for a while and not sell as quickly and as high as you could. We know that buyers eliminate homes based on the online pictures. Years ago, before all of the listings were available online, a typical buyer would have to go out and physically look at 40 homes, 40. Excuse me, you might have to hit that for a second. The typical buyer would go out and look at as many as 40 homes before they would pick one. But that was because they didn't have the online technology that we have today. Today, a typical buyer only looks at 8 homes, and that's probably because they were outbid on a few of them. So you want to make sure you attract all the buyers to get the most amount of money, and that's what we help our clients do. You can reach me at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Ryan?
If you want a free report, the 11 high-cost home inspection traps you should know weeks before you list your home for sale, visit barbhasthebuyers.com and go to free reports. When we come back, we will be discussing how to avoid the biggest agent selection mistakes when selling your Colorado Springs area home. Stay tuned for that.